All right, everybody, welcome to the Commish Chat Podcast. I'm NBHL Commissioner Anthony Sanrocco, joined by Matt Streibich, Jake Ferreira, Evan Benedict, Dave Norton, Matt Safranek, all from Team NBHL, went to Scotland, unreal tournament, and we're going to just kind of hash out everything that happened. So, fellas, how are we feeling? How's the jet lag?
Pretty good. I've been back for a couple days now, but the main thing is I keep walking on the left side of the sidewalk and everything, so people are like, what's going on with this dude?
I got pretty back. I think came back Monday. Flew in pretty late, around like 8 p.m. So I was just able to just kind of come back, crash, and kind of recoup before going into work. So, but yeah, big thing is looking on the left side of the road instead of the right side when you try and cross the street now. So it's definitely a change.
Yeah, I got back late last night. I agree with Jake though. The driving, I got used to it pretty quickly going on the right side. It's just the drivers here though are brutal. They cut you off. They're going like 100. Everyone's going like 70 at fastest. It was great.
Yeah, I don't know how you guys did the driving. I got back 7 hours ago and I still don't even know where the hell I am. So yeah, not much sleep last night. Not much sleep on the plane.
I got back Monday and don't tell work, but since I work from home, got a couple naps in when we had a little lull. So the jet lag didn't kick in too much.
Dude, I took a half day on Tuesday because I was just so tired.
Yeah, I've been napping on and off. I napped today. I napped yesterday. Yeah, my body is just so out of whack right now. I mean, I felt actually kind of okay because when we flew out there, I kind of just powered through that first day. Like the red eye, because the red eyes are brutal. Because I wanted to sleep, but we got there and like we just had stuff happen. Like, I don't know, Evan, we got to our Airbnb and we had to go look at a castle. Like that was cool.
I guess you were so tired you drove the wrong way when you got there that you ended up going to the castle and you got a nice little tour out of it.
Wait, were you not part of the castle tour? No,
when we went the right direction. We went to the house. So when we get there, the lady's there and just like, oh, you going on a tour of the castle? Like, sure. Like, okay, yeah. Yeah, you guys went the wrong way.
So added context is we had, I guess, two different, like all the Mass Rhode Island guys, you guys had your own Airbnb. A couple other people were solo. And then we had a big house, like 25 minutes from Edinburgh with, what was there, like 14 of us in there? And it was just on the property of a castle. We were not in the castle, but like we were directly across from it. So I remember I pulled up and I couldn't figure out how to get in. And I called the lady who had the Airbnb and I was just like, hey, how do we get in here? And she was like, in her Scottish accent, she's like, oh, I found some of your friends. Was she in your car? Was she in Evan's car? Or Becca's car?
I guess Becca went the wrong way then. Yeah, that wasn't you.
Yeah. Because she was in the car with her. And then she was like, well, and then she came in and gave us the tour. And then we went back to the castle and she walked us around there that was like 1,000 years old or something like that.
Yeah. 1,000 years old. And they've had that house for 500 years.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, it was cool. They had like all these statues of like their entire family, basically. What do they say? That they're not allowed to make any changes to the interior of the house because it's like historical or something like that.
Yeah. I forgot the guy's name, but it's something Adams, some architect that like some of the rooms he built, you can't even put a nail in the wall because he's like so renowned in Scotland.
Yeah, it counts as like a grade A like architecture historical fact for them. It's like the highest level. So you need, if you want to do even anything like that, just a touch up, it's like a ton of governmental permits.
Yeah, and then like Jake and Norty, what were you guys doing when we were checking in? You guys went right to the rink, right?
Yeah. So we flew in. Norty, I think, went to London beforehand. So Cliffy and I, we flew right from Boston over to Edinburgh, and so we had a connection in Dublin. But our flight came in at like 1:30. So instead of, I tried getting early check-in like you guys, but instead of getting early check-in, the guy was just like, no, we had somebody else checking out at the same time, so we couldn't check in until 3. So I mean, I didn't want to have Cliffy just kind of standing around the city bringing his goalie equipment everywhere. So we're just like, why don't we just go to the rink, see if we can maybe get a locker room and, kind of see what's going on there. Cause we had practice from 4 o'clock or something like that anyways, 3 to 4. So like, we'll just kind of hang out at the rink. So we hung out at the rink and we kind of, I was exhausted, to be honest with you, not much sleep on the flight. And I know it was Cliffy's first international travel too. So, and he hates flying. So he was definitely a little rough on that first day. He's white knuckling the seat as we're flying in and landing. He's closing his eyes. The plane from Dublin to Edinburgh was, I'm not kidding you, it was a 40 passenger plane and with like actual propeller props on the jet engines on the outside of it. Like one of those ones where you have to walk in the back of the plane and not through the front. It's an experience for him, that's for sure. But
yeah, in the rink, like, what was the first impression of the rink? Like, it was, I played last night at Springfield, which for anybody listening doesn't know, it's like it's a rink outside of Philly. It's kind of like smaller, and like I felt like I was playing mini hockey last night. Like the rink was just so small compared to the Edinburgh one, but that rink was just, I've never played on a rink that big before in my life.
Yeah, that was an Olympic size sheet, right? Or Olympic?
I think so.
It had to be international, at least for sure.
Yeah, that was definitely bigger than Harrisburg or Tiverton. So that's definitely the biggest I've played on. Ant can't get a pass from one side of the rink to the other to me. So yeah, it's when it's when it's a big rink.
Yeah, it felt like I was trying to launch a pass. Like, I don't even know a comparison to give it to, but it took like an hour to get to you. And I was like, all right, I thought I had to
say from one GT rink to the other.
Yeah. It's ridiculous. And then, Safi, were you the one who planned the bar crawl that we did that night?
No, I think that was Jake.
That was me, yeah.
Oh, that's it you? Okay.
Yeah,
I know I was on your booking, Safi. I wasn't sure who planned it all out.
Yeah, Jake planned it, but when I went he just booked for like 2 or 3 of them. And when I went in, I was like, well, I can book 9 spots. So I guess I'll just buy 9 spots.
Yeah. I did one so I didn't like book it individually, but when I was in Barcelona, I stayed at a hostel and it had a bar crawl, very similar to the Scotland one that we did. And I just happened to like Google on Viator, I think it was, and it was like, what was it? $30, right? Not even. And it was 6 or 7 bars. I think it was 6 bars. And the last one was a nightclub. And it was 1 shot at each bar. Now the shots obviously weren't the best top shelf, but no, I had a great time. It's funny to see from bar to bar how many people drop off from each bar. And once you hit that 5th bar, that's where shit kind of hits the fan.
Yeah, I did not last the whole night. I think I was out after the 4th bar. I don't think I made it to the club at the end.
For anyone watching, when you travel to a new city, bar crawl is always the way to go, just to meet new people that first night.
Dude, we had the Ireland guy. I couldn't even tell you the guy's name. I walk out of the bathroom at like the 2nd bar and some guy just pulls me aside and starts talking to me like he's my best friend. And he's like, oh, I'm on like this Irish bachelor party, and it was the guy that was wearing the boombox, like inflatable boombox around his neck or whatever.
Yeah.
It was his buddy, and he like starts talking to us like we're best friends, and then he turns left and just walks into the women's restroom, and we're like, didn't you just like grab us out of the men's room? Like, what are you doing?
It's a great idea to do it before our first day of games too. Out all night drinking and just
we had late games.
Yeah. We also had very slow first periods for every single one of those.
Yeah, I was, especially after like the red eye flight, and then going right into basically checking in. We view a castle, we go to the hockey rink, we go back, we shower, and then we're out until like however late we were. Like I was just,
well, we went
I can't do
shopping.
that anymore. Oh, we did grocery shopping. Yeah, we destroyed that Aldi.
We went, and I got all that beer too.
Yeah,
all that traditional Scottish beer. Evan's got the sign of it right there.
Yeah.
You had like a whole case of Corona left. You had like 30 Coronas left when we left.
Well, we didn't run out, so it was a good job. Could you imagine of running out?
I don't think we're running out of anything. We had way too much of everything.
Not pizza though. We crushed the pizza.
Yeah, that and chicken nugs or chicken tendies.
Chicken tendies never got there.
You guys like make your own pizzas, or like you just like make your own, or like frozen ones?
I think we bought like 8 frozen pizzas, and everyone came back very, very happy and gleeful for pizza that it got to the point where I think 3 of them were fully cooked, and I'd put one in the oven, and within 5 minutes, everyone was just screaming to get it taken out. So they're eating like half raw pizza.
This was after the bar crawl?
Yes.
Yeah.
I was gonna say, because I know you guys left early. Norty, Cliffy, and I think were the only ones, and I think DeMarco was there. Were the only ones that literally walked into the nightclub, and Norty and I walked in and we're like, we gotta go. This is a bad idea.
Bad idea.
And then we cooked the pizzas. What was the thing that we had in the kitchen that was just always on and always hot that we could cook stuff in?
The instant tea thing.
Yeah, what was that? I felt so unsafe with it, but I don't know. I guess it works.
That's what she said. You can't shut it off. If you need a pot of tea, boom, you just put water on it and you got a pot of tea.
I don't think they realized how good of a pizza maker that thing was, though, as a second use. But yeah, I guess it was good having what was our first game? Our first games were noon, which was great, even though we were still late for the first one. Well, not late, but we were late for being like set up.
I was.
Yeah.
I was, yeah. I had the last car of our house, and I think Cody got out of our place at like 10:20 when there was like a 40-minute drive.
Oh my God! Yeah, we couldn't even get Ubers out of there. We were stranded out there the first time. We almost didn't even make the bar crawl. I forgot about that.
Yeah.
All right. So first game, Friday morning versus Switzerland. We kind of get there right on time.
I was so mad. Because I mean, just think, like we barely even practiced. I mean, we just shot around, and then we don't know each other at the time. So like, I'm like waiting there. I'm sitting there in my like, I don't know, shorts and like a t-shirt, and I'm like, where the frig is my jersey? Like, I just want to put my uniform on. I want to get ready. And I'm like sitting there waiting. And then you guys finally show up. I'm like, oh, it's about time. Like 10 minutes, 15 minutes before game time. Because they gave us 15 minutes to warm up, which was absurd amount of time. Like, that's crazy. But yeah, I'm not gonna lie, I wasn't the happiest that you guys showed up like right on time.
I think you guys pulled in with the jerseys. Me and Jake fire them on, go out on the rink, and we shoot around like 3 balls on an empty net and maybe Cliffy or Owen. And me and Jake are looking at each other and looking down the other rink to the Swiss team, who's doing 80 drills, buzzing around. And me and Jake are like, this is kind of embarrassing, huh?
I think I said to Norty, I said, we're about to get our ass kicked right now. I said exactly my exact words, I think.
We just all stumble out like one by one from the locker room. Oh, yeah, I'll take a jog over to the corner and rip a wrister. Oh, okay, I got to go back to the bench. I'm still kind of hungover. I need some water.
Oh my God. Yeah. I mean, in the first period showed we got 2-0 first period, right? We went down right away pretty quick. Yeah. The first period was pretty humbling. I remember my first shift, there was a ball coming up the boards, and like I was playing D, so I was like, all right, I can pinch on this defenseman and like get this ball and like, create a chance. And I pinched, and I didn't even get close to the guy.
It was right near our bench.
You gave the guy.
You took one step, and the guy just blew right by you.
You gave him a 100-foot 2-on-1. That's what that turned into.
Safi, what happened with that game with the guy hugging you?
Oh my God. I don't even remember. It was one of the points of the game where people are just pushing and shoving, and I'm just kind of standing at the top of I had just popped on, and I'm standing at like the top of the blue line because we're going to make our change. The refs are sorting everything out, and the guy's just standing next to me. And I was just like, oh, hey buddy, how's it going? Like, just casual, like ring talk to someone that has no interest in being a part of these scuffles. And he just turns to me, I speak no English, and just gives me a big bear hug. And I was like, all right, buddy, this is how we're going. This is how we're doing. So I just gave him a nice big hug right there. And I was like, all right, I guess you're having a great time like we are then.
Oh my God, it's so funny.
I was just very taken aback. I was just thought we were going to have a conversation, and nope, it was just, I'm letting you know, I do not speak the language, but here's a hug and we're going to part ways. All right, dude. See you at the face-off dot.
Oh my God. Yeah, I felt like we settled in after the first period, though. Like, I felt like after that, it was, I don't know. It felt pretty good to run with that team.
We dominated them after the first period.
Yeah, after the first period. The first period was a big struggle. I still wish that my line's first shift of that first period, if we had buried those two chances that we had, that game would have turned out completely different.
Was that the one where I just kind of threw it on net, right? And it went right off of Tim, I think, right to you on the back door, and the guy tied your stick up, right?
Yep, right at the last second. So I pushed it just wide of the net. But yeah, if we had buried that right off the bat, we would have been up 1-0, and I think they would have kind of been gripping their sticks a little tighter after seeing how we were warming up and coming out.
Yeah, Safi, I think if you score that goal, if you score the first goal for us in that game, we win the tournament easily. That sets the tone for the whole weekend. That would have been a great tone setter.
Oh, so we're blaming Safi now, are we?
Yeah. I think this is all on him.
We agreed on that.
Yeah, that's fine. I mean, I think I had 5 or 6 of those.
So I'm right there with you too.
Yeah, Ev.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I was getting texts from back home about not being able to score, so it was brutal.
Well, you had some dives at least. You had a few.
Nordy's goal in that first game was filthy. As their goalie said, that goal was legit.
Were you just aiming and shooting, Nordy? What was it? So that was what? Like, we had the goalie pulled like a minute and a half left, I guess. You got it wide.
Around a minute 30.
Yeah, that was minute 30, 6-on-5. I had the ball in the half wall. Walked in a little bit to sharpen my angle. I knew the goalie was going to go down because he can't see me and I can't see him. And I'm like, I can probably beat him right over the shoulder next to the ear. And it's basically where I put it. I didn't even see it go in. I just saw the water bottle and the towel go flying. And I was like, that had to have gone. I mean, I think DeMarco sprinted at me and jumped on me.
I passed it to you, and I was following around the net, so I saw that shot go perfectly in the far corner. That was a snipe and a half. That was a beautiful goal.
Stribe, I think your biggest error of the weekend was the photos for that goal. Was it not?
Yeah, because I was pointing my camera at the goal, and I see DeMarco go crazy, and he's like celebrating like he scored, so I'm taking pictures of him. And I didn't even see Nordy over there who shot it.
I looked at Strive, I think, immediately after that game. I go, I know you, and you've photographed many of my games. You didn't get that goal, did you? And he goes, no. I thought DeMarco scored it. Of course.
He was celebrating like he scored it, so I just pointed at him.
That's DeMarco for you.
Yeah, he did do a solo celly in the middle of the rig.
He was amped. Well, that was one of those ones where we got that 6-on-5 goal early, and then we still got a couple chances. We had a really good chance to tie that game.
We did.
Like, our power play and our 6-on-5 units actually moved the ball really well. Like, all that space for us was just like night and day to playing here back home.
Well, I don't even
my God.
From playing deep, playing on the back end, right off the draw, they gave us easy entry. It's just right off the boards, right to the forehand to one of the wingers, and we just set it up. They didn't even press it. That's why when I was on the PK, I tried lining up, the three on the blue line and then the one guy on the red line. As soon as that defenseman on the other team moves up, have that guy on the red line attack. So make them make a decision instead of just sitting there and trying setting it up. But they just kind of sat back and let us just gain entry to the zone. That's why our power play was so good. We possessed it.
Yeah, all three teams just let the wingers A-frame on the wall and just easy entry and then right back to the D, and it just opens everything up. It's that wide of a rink. It's really easy entry when you have guys that basically aren't staying on sticks like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then so we lose that one 2-1. I guess we decided that the logical thing to do was to walk a few miles around Edinburgh after the game and, tire our legs out even more. But at least we got the kilt. We got the kilt in the hat. Because the first game did feel a little incomplete, not having something to give our player of the game, which was Owen. Owen probably had 2 he would like to have back in the first period, but after that he was pretty lights out. He was awesome.
Was it, he made a glove save early in that too, where he lost his angle in that big rink and he flashed the leather on
Yeah,
it.
he did.
He snagged
That
it.
was
Yep,
that was the play where I just completely
Were you
misread
benched?
the rink. Yeah, it was terrible. But yeah, Edinburgh, the city was awesome. It felt like we were in Hogwarts or something.
Yeah.
But yeah, so we walk around, we get the hat and the kilt. We go to the second game. We've got the Great Britain Lions. We won. It was 4-1, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
RJ player of the game. I mean, I don't have any stories myself from that game. I can't even that was probably the least memorable game of the four. I don't really know why, but
What do you mean? I scored the best empty net goal in like the history of
That empty net
dude,
goal,
you did snipe an empty netter.
I
It was right off the PK.
I get like taken out like a soccer slide tackle. Excuse me, a football slide tackle. And then I go to make a stick play. I get called for a trip after I get no called, getting taken out, which easily should have been a red card. And I just come out of the box and and I'm just standing there, just dangling on the blue line by myself and just went bar down.
No, Jake, the worst part about that, the worst part is you could have walked that into the net and you stopped at the top of the circle. And out of nowhere, 5 guys converge on you, and you said, "All right, I'll shoot it," and just bar down. I was like,
I ripped it.
Yeah, that was God. Might have been our best goal of the weekend.
I don't know. Norty kind of got me beat on that.
Yeah, at least I had a goalie in the net.
Yeah.
RJ won player of the game. He got the kilt the first time. And basically the way it worked was they would ask the opposing team who the player of the game was. And RJ had, 1 or 2 goals that game?
I think he had 1. I think he had the first, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah. But basically they would, after the game, I guess there's a lot of stuff we had to get used to. We didn't know we were going to do. Like post game, we had to line up at the line and they played the national anthem first. Then we would, announce they'd announce the players of the games. They'd go over to get a plaque and they would shake the tournament director's hands. And then they would, then after that, we would shake hands like normal. And then they would steal the player a game for an interview. So it was nice because we'd all be in the locker room and the player of the game would come in and we would be able to kind of, cheer for them as they came in the room. And RJ came in and we gave him the stuff. And I don't think he knew we had that at that point because I don't think he was there with us. Was he there when we bought it?
I don't think he was.
I think he was just in a different area looking at something different when you ran in and grabbed it.
Yeah. And, he did a hell of an Irish jig. It was flawless.
It was viral.
Yeah. But no, it was awesome. And then that night, because our game time, so our first game was 12, our second game was 7:30. By the time the game ended, or it was 7, I guess, but by the time the game ended, it was 8:30, 9 o'clock. So we were kind of in a weird spot. And that was the night where we just kind of went back, right? Is that when we went back and all had dinner and you guys just went back to your place? We didn't really do too much that night.
Yeah, well, I think Norty wanted to do the ball pit. And then when we were sitting there, we found out we had to do reservations. So we're like, okay, are you guys going to come out? And then I think that's when you guys ordered, I think Safi really wanted fish and chips. I think that's when you guys ordered the fish and chips, I think that night. So we kind of just did our own things.
Yeah.
That's when we broke out the war room team dinner.
No, we should have did a lot more content in that room. That room was awesome. Yeah, we had those, and it was soggy fish and chips too. It wasn't anything special. The next day we had much better fish and chips at lunch, or at least mine were way better at lunch. So
at least you got yours.
Oh yeah, that's right. You didn't earn yours. If you scored a goal, you would have got it.
That's fair. That's fair. I had to drive there. I had to drive up on someone's curb. On the sidewalk, and somebody's smoking a cigarette on the apartment, looking down at my car as I'm just sitting there, blowing smoke at me. And get back, and I don't have any food, so that was fun.
So we finish up, we go to bed, and then our first game is versus Bermuda in the morning, and that was the Streib game, the Streib and Becca game. Yeah, Streib. We had to scour for equipment for you. I don't even know what you wore for
I
that
know.
game.
I didn't bring a single piece of equipment. I wore, let's see. Well, first I tried on Cody's gloves, and then I found better gloves from Jimmy, so I swapped them. And what I got shins and a helmet from Safi. I used RJ's stick, and I used ear shoes, Ant. So I was just mosh. I was just a mosh of everyone's equipment.
I think you mean RJ's 9-iron.
Yeah. Yeah, no, that was a dump in. That was not a shot.
Yeah, right.
I was just getting it deep. I was getting it deep.
Getting it deep from the face-off dot in the zone.
Almost went over the net.
Yeah, Strive, talk us through that play. I want to hear your whole perspective of that play.
I was just pinching because I had some space and I was on my backhand on the off wing. And so someone saw me breaking and they passed it to me. So I caught it on my backhand. And I had to try to get it to my forehand to take a shot, but I was trying not to trip and fall. Just so I didn't look I would rather, I just didn't want to look stupid. So I was just trying to get a shot off as quick as possible. And just kind of roofed it a little bit over the glass.
Yeah. When he says roofed it did not go in the net. It was launched out of the ring.
It was towards the roof is what I mean.
Yeah, that was Becca's game too. Becca got crushed at one point in that game. I felt so bad for her. Do you remember that? Center of the ring?
Right in the middle. Yeah. Right in front of our bench.
Rush.
There she is. Yes. Yeah. That had to hurt a little bit.
Fine. Happens all the time.
How did it feel playing in that game, Becca? How was that for you?
It was good. I mean, I play in men's leagues a couple times a week, so it's not anything that I'm not totally used to. I think some other players might have been a little annoyed that there was a girl on the rink. I think the guy that hit me maybe being one of them, but it was a lot of fun. All the guys we played with are obviously great and wanting me to take shifts, which was awesome.
Yeah, you played great. Yeah, you and Tribe both played great. It was cool to have you go both in a game. It's also nice for the lines that we had more players on the bench and could rest a little bit because running 5D was exhausting for those couple games we did. It was terrible.
Yeah, especially when you're pinching up so far and giving teams 100 for 2-on-1s.
It was one time.
Sounds like a new problem.
It was pretty funny though. Anytime I'd see Ant jump up, I would just see him kind of just turn around and go, throw a stick up in the air and go, "Get me!"
I was coming right off. You kidding me? I bet you, how many miles do you think we ran per game?
Oof.
Too many.
Yeah.
It's too many for a bar crawl and drinking. What we did. It's definitely the mental aspect of playing on a rink like that, though. You see how much space you have between you and the net. You're like, yeah, I really don't want to run that. And if you miss the net, you're running another marathon to get to the corner to get the ball. It really was not the best experience in that regard, but yeah. I'm not a track athlete. I'm sorry. I don't think any of us are track athletes.
No, I think Safi is, right?
Yeah. That definitely shows. You should have seen me trying to run back after the one play in Stribe's games. He's coming in for a pinch. I'm going up the ball. I'm going to get the ball, and I just want to dump it in. And Stribe's completely calls me off that. I'm like, all right, cool, dude. I'm just going to stop here at the blue line. I'm assuming Stribes is just running this ball in. Next thing I know, there's the ball rolling by me up the boards, and I was just like, what just happened? And some Bermuda players, kid, it's 17 years old, sprinting down there. I'm like, oh, someone got another 150-foot 2-on-1 because I ain't catching this kid.
Yeah, my communication was not great with those. I tried to do some drop passes at the blue line. I think I did one with Norty too. Just did not work out.
Yo, you gave me one. You're like, oh, it was a drop pass. It was like, you basically dumped that in the other corner.
So Strive was a lead out there.
Yeah.
I will give Strive credit. There was a 2-on-1 that we all kind of just took a deep breath like, oh, this is bad. And then Strive stuck his stick out and broke it up and went the other way for it.
Oh, yeah. Did a couple.
Also forgot you did a split in that game too. I think on the first shift.
The very first shift, yeah. I just kind of stomped on the ground the wrong way and lost my footing. in those big ass shoes you gave me at huge.
They were not.
It was like swimming in those like flippers.
Were they Vans?
No, they were Hokas. They're
Hokas.
running shoes.
Oh.
They're not
They
ball
look like
hockey
it.
shoes.
I remember in that game too, someone yelled at me. There was 3 of us going in the defensive zone and there was only 2 of them. So I'm waiting for the guy to come off the bench to come into the zone. So I had my back to Owen and net and my stick's just out and I'm waiting for the guy. He's just cutting right towards me and someone just yells at me like, Shaffy, pay attention to the ball. And I'm like, I'm going to go defend this guy that's running at me and the ball just hits my stick. Like the dude just to my stick and not the other guy. And I was just like, oh, okay, thanks. I just turned around and I saw Jamie just cut to the middle. I was like, here you go, buddy.
I don't know what DeMarco was talking about with that one kid on the team. I guess like one of the guys that played defense was a professional like ice hockey player over there, I guess, in like the Great Britain area. I mean, they were going at it the entire game, right on the benches.
Oh yeah, someone told DeMarco that 88 was a pro ice hockey player. So DeMarco asked
Field day.
Yeah, the UK guys, oh, does he play pro here? And they were just like, we don't know. We've never heard of him. So DeMarco was just like, they said they never heard of you. Therefore, it's not true. So I'm going to eat you alive now, guy.
I think he lined up next to me in the face-off, and he goes, oh, this is my first time playing ball hockey. I looked at him, I said, cool, like congratulations. Like,
So that game, we win 3-0. Becca gets player of the game. It was awesome. And so we head in the locker room. And I guess we were just going to give her the kill, right? But someone suggested let's give her a water shower. Is that you, Norty?
Yeah, that was me. I'll take credit for that one.
I think at first we were all like, let's not do it. And then we were like, wait, why would we not do that?
Well, I think you were like, well, we don't have any water. I was like, I have an entire case in the other room.
That's right. But then we were just like, we're going to get all our stuff wet. And we're like, well, she's doing an interview. She won't be here for another couple minutes anyway. So we might as well just shove our stuff underneath and do this for her. Was there any more planning than that? That was pretty much it, right? Like, let's just destroy Becca once she comes in.
No, yeah, you just cleared the whole floor and then that was it. We just waited.
I think it was me and Nick. We were outside the locker room trying to find her, and then we like kind of spot her as she's walking through the door to go back to the locker room. Like, oh shit, we gotta run her down because she had like the backpack on her that had all of our phones and wallets. So it's like, let's not destroy our shit. So
Also, just, like all of my stuff, gloves, helmet, everything. He's like, give me everything. I'm like, okay, like fine.
she was too excited to even realize I was just like stripping her of all of her stuff. As she's like walking to the locker room, it's like, oh, they were talking to me. I'm like, oh, cool, just give me your shit right now, kind of thing. And then, she just goes in without having any idea. And
I mean, I knew to expect the kills at that point, but I was like, okay, like you can't wait 2 seconds. Gave him all the stuff, expected the kilt, walked in, you're all staring at me, and I feel so awkward. Like, okay, hey guys, and then he just erupted, and it was absolutely insane.
that and Nordy's face in that photo. I know that was that's how you know it was Nordy's idea. Yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome. I mean, I think it's like over like 30,000 views right now across all our social medias. It's done pretty well. I know I got a ton of texts about it. When we went to lunch afterwards, Becca, I felt like you were on your phone the whole time because I felt like your phone was blowing up from people.
Oh my god,
Just saying. That was so
How many
awesome.
followers after that? Okay.
Not a big deal.
that hair flip.
Not a big deal.
So, yeah, that was probably the most wholesome moment of the weekend, I'd say. And that win also basically guaranteed us a playoff spot. I think we just kind of chilled out after that game. Because we can go into the city. I think we're just watching people play cricket and stuff and like getting coffee.
Yeah.
Norty and I went to the city. What did we do, Norty? Oh, we walked the Royal Mile.
No, I think that was the time we went to the castle.
Was it? I thought we went to the castle on Friday.
Yeah, you guys went to the castle on Friday because we walked up to the castle. We just never went in.
Yeah.
Oh, so we did do the Royal Mile then.
Yeah, where Cliffy almost bought like a real life sword for about $350.
You guys talked about that the whole time. Yeah, it's like he just bought a sword. You're not going to believe it.
They wanted to go to this night shop for like the first day that we walked by it, and I'm like, I mean, I guess like cool.
It was 3 days. It was 3 days of me and Cliffy badgering Jake. Like, is today the day? Can we go? Can we go?
Should have just bought
Does
it.
he regret not getting it?
He bought his fiance a cashmere sweater instead.
What a nice guy.
Pretty close.
We both agreed that was probably the better decision.
Well,
Significantly, yeah.
I'm going to throw Cliffy under the bus. It's because they were actually out of stock in the 3 swords he wanted.
She picks us up at Logan, right, when we get back, and he goes, I almost bought a sword. And she goes, why am I not surprised? He goes, but I bought you the sweater instead. She goes, you're still going to buy the sword though, right? He goes, yeah, probably in a couple months. I'll order it online.
Well, that's when you were showing us that lightsaber video of him, right? Where was that?
Man.
That was when you were in NBHL California last year, right?
Yeah, it's when Casto, him and I went out there, and I mean, he bought 2 custom lightsabers. Well, he says they're not custom. One of them's like, I don't know, Luke Skywalker one or Anakin one, whatever one it is. But it's like $400 a piece for those lightsabers, and then just dueling it out in the hotel room. I'm like, I want to go to bed. They're legit though. They legit sound like lightsabers. Like anytime you move, it's like wong wong. Like,
Yeah, I don't think the duel would have gone as well with the real swords. Like they were like real, like actual sharp.
yeah.
Like, it was a real deal, right? Yeah. Yeah, it's probably good that he didn't buy that, like, for our safety.
There was a shield hanging up on the wall. I said, Cliffy, buy that for and use it as your blocker next game.
Yeah, so we, I guess we just kind of hung out between games. Besides you guys who went and, looked at swords, and
That was when we watched Bermuda, and that was the DeMarco show game. Danny,
He's got a future in commentating.
I don't think anyone in the tournament got bigger cheers than Eddie. Anytime he touched the ball, or even just touched the rink at that point towards the end of that game.
So you would have thought he had a fan club.
It's like the equivalent of going to like a pro hockey game and just yelling shoot every time a guy touches the puck. It's like every time Eddie touched the ball, it's just something. There's something about Eddie or something about Paul Paradine every time they touched it. And number 88, can't forget him too.
And then, we were watching that game. Was that the game that was all slippery, right? Like it started getting pretty slick for their game.
Yeah.
And thankfully we got to play right after that.
Yeah. Even in warm-ups, it was tough. Mm-hmm. Yeah, what did we play? 3? I think it was like 3 minutes we played that
3
game.
minutes. Yeah.
Might be a new
3 minutes.
record. Maybe Fitchburg. I've never been there, but maybe they have something close to it where it was like 12 guys fell in the span of 3 minutes.
I don't even think I touched the rink in the game, honestly.
Jake, you might have died if you stepped on the rink.
Yeah. I think I got out for my shift, and then the game like stopped, and I'm like, oh, okay, cool.
Yeah, I know. I definitely fell.
My one memory from Jake from that game was he looks at Cliffy and just goes, I told you I should have brought my booties.
Yeah, like little napper rubber things that you just kind of throw right over your shoes, because we have like a very similar surface to like Fitchburg here in Rhode Island. So anytime it gets wet, it's miserable, and like those rubber shoes actually work pretty well. So.
Isn't there some kind of spray too that you spray on the bottom of your shoes to get sticky?
Hairspray, I think. But I don't think it would have mattered on that because it was there's way too much like water on there.
You would have got 6 steps and slid.
Yeah. I think you could have slid on it, honestly. That's how wet it was.
Yeah, it was ridiculous. And they called like the refs, like after like that 3.5 minute mark, the refs kind of met because they realized how many people fell in that short of a span. And they called me over and the Great Britain captain. And they were just like, yeah, what do you guys want to do? Do you want to, they're like, we can just finish out this game, play the first, I'm sorry, like we can finish out the first period. We can see if, this gets better somehow, or we can just call it. And thankfully it was against the Great Britain national team who we were, no matter what, we were playing the next day in the first round of the playoffs. And I went back to you guys and everybody was like, absolutely not. Like we are not playing this right now. I think it was the quickest no ever. The Great Britain said the same thing. They were like, yeah, we're not playing in this. So we just, I don't know. I think it was kind of nice, honestly, because we got to go out more that night. We got to do more stuff.
Oh, the mini golf tournament.
Yeah.
So, well, before we get into the mini golf, Ant, my favorite thing about that whole meeting of the minds was you and the Great Britain captain walk over there and you turn around and go, captains, get over here. So me and Ev do the jog across the entire rink, and we get there, and the refs look at you and go, "We just need one." And then you turn around and look at, why are you guys standing here? Go get over there.
Yeah, I don't think they realized I was joking either. Yeah, that was funny. Yeah, where did we go? Did we go out to a bar after that?
We tried to go to that brewery, I think, that Stribe found, but they couldn't accommodate us, right? I think that's what it was.
Yeah, we walked in. I'm like, oh, we have like 15, 20 people. And she's like, yeah, we can't do that. We have one chef right now. The other one just walked out. So they could not feed us. We had to go to Nando's around the corner.
Yeah, went to Nando's. Very Scottish.
They didn't bring our food for freaking 30, 45 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
So we're just starving.
Speak for yourself. I got mine in like 5. It's
I know.
Great experience.
Some people got it at like 5. And then for me and other people, it was like 30 minutes.
Yeah, whoever ordered wings took forever.
Yeah, that was me.
Yeah, Ev, I was going to say, Ev was freaking out. He's looking around and goes, you guys got here 20 minutes after I ordered, and you guys have your food.
Yeah, that was bullshit. That was bullshit. Yeah.
Everybody was hangry at that point, I think. Very hangry.
And they sent me an email of like how did we do?
A little review.
Yeah. So like, I'm going to go off on that. I'm not letting that slide.
Did you do it yet? I know you're going to.
Not yet. What, they're going to probably send me like a free coupon for something, but I'm not going back to Nando's.
Well, no, there's the one in Baltimore that Becca went to.
That's true. I'm not going to Baltimore either. I'll tell you that.
We'll make a road trip out of it. I'll go with you.
All right.
But then that's when you guys had your mini golf tournament, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. There's like this underground. There's like a massive mall, and on the basement floor is like a mini golf, like a volcano mini golf thing.
36
like
holes.
It's like a rainforest cafe, right?
Pretty much. I mean, that's kind of what it looked like. Yeah. It was like just one. I think one side of the course was the volcano side, which is the one that we played. And I think DeMarco went a different route. I forget the other name of the course, but like it would split up into 2 18-hole mini golf courses. Yeah. I mean, it didn't look that big when we first got there, but massive.
It was like dinosaur jungle themed.
Something like that. Yeah. Dinosaur, I think the other one was. Yeah.
Who won?
Cliffy.
Cliffy, yeah.
Cliffy. Mm-hmm.
Cliffy got his ass kicked right before we flew out in Boston in virtual golf with the simulator. And then he won in mini golf.
What a weekend for Cliffy.
Cliffy would ace a hole and be like, guys, I can't golf. And then Jake would just stare at the back of his head and want to punch him.
Yeah. Well, the best part is, so we're all waiting in line. RJ's getting all hyped up. He's like, oh, I'm going to kick everyone's ass in this right now. Like, y'all are going down. And then I came up with a rule. I'm like, whoever gets a hole in one has to buy their group a drink. So, like, I think the second hole, I think on the other side, Aiden got a hole in one already. So he's like, all right, Aiden's got to buy everyone around. And then I think the group in front of us, Norty, who was it? It was Safi, you were there, right?
Me, Sweeney, RJ,
and Cody. Yeah.
And Cody.
So there was, I think it was maybe the fourth hole. RJ's sitting there. It's one of the holes where it was just, you have to go up a ramp and then go down a hole and like through a pipe to get down to the lower base. I must have watched RJ try and get up that ramp 3 or 4 times, and it would just come right back down. And then I'm like laughing at him, and then I go up and do it, and I do the same exact thing. There was a lot. I drank for free that night. That was fun.
Because we weren't out. I don't think we were out terribly late that night. But you guys, that's the night you guys came to our.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, we were out.
No, we were out until
We were
like
up late.
12:30 easy.
Oh, Saf,
Yeah,
you don't
'cause
even go there. You were falling asleep in the corner like this.
Yeah, I know. I didn't want to stay up late. 12:30
In his
though.
defense, it was after like the first period.
Yeah, I made it
Well,
the
wait,
first
so-
period.
Looking around.
So while they were mini golfing, we went to a little pub across the street. We were sitting in like the back room, got some tables together. And it was super chill, but then like all you guys walk in, like 15 more people walk in, and the place just gets so loud and like all the
It was
people
very
sitting around us-
quiet before.
You guys
Yeah.
were yelling. Yeah.
People were pissed. They were like staring back at us, like giving dirty looks and everything. It was
And
fun.
we were.
I felt bad too because the way we were positioned in that back room, there was one table that was kind of like isolated in the corner, and we like cornered off that couple, and they couldn't have left the bar without having to ask at least like 2 of us to get out of the way. And like they were having like a very nice like quiet dinner over there, and then we just bombarded them essentially.
Norty
We
was
were-
chatting up one of the couples right over there, right behind us.
Yeah.
Well, the funny thing about that is actually the husband was the ice technician at the rink and had no idea that the tournament was going on.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Oh, really?
I didn't know that either.
Yeah, because she was like, "Wait, you guys are hockey players?" And we're like, "Yeah." Me and RJ are talking to him. She was like, "Not at Murrayfield, right?" And we're like, "Yeah." And she was like, and he was like, "I'm the ice technician there. There's no way. I was there this week." I was like, "They put in the rink on Thursday. Like, there's no ice. Like, we're playing there." And he was like, "Huh." And I was like, "Yeah, like, we're playing these days. That's how we've been doing." And he was like, "Oh, well, good luck." I had no idea. And I was like, "All right."
Did you tell him his rink was all slippery?
I did, actually. I did. I was like, "We didn't play tonight because it was so wet." And he's like, "Makes sense. It's probably humid."
Yep. Yeah. And that was what? That night was game 7, right? Of the Leafs Bruins.
Yeah.
Oh,
So
yeah.
That's when we're like, it's 12:30. It's a half-hour ride back to the house. We got to wrap this up. We got to go.
Yeah, well, we could have walked. So where we were at the bar, Norty, Cliffy, and I could have walked like 18 minutes to our place that we were staying at, and we're like, well, we might as well just go watch the game at your house and then figure out. I mean, because we were able to leave all the hockey stuff at the rink anyways, so we didn't like necessarily need to. We had all of our gear and our uniforms already there, so we didn't necessarily need to bring anything to the house. So,
Do you remember that joke that lady you were chatting up, Norty, what she was telling us?
Oh,
What's a pirate's favorite letter? Yeah, what's a pirate's favorite letter?
Not all.
I forget
You
the
might think
punchline.
it's R, but the pirate's favorite letter is the C. Or something stupid. Yeah,
Yeah,
something
that's what it
stupid
was.
like that.
So
She like
dumb.
fell out of her chair the first time she told us. No, the first time she told us,
Her accent was so heavy.
yeah, her accent was so heavy, I couldn't understand what the hell she said. I just started laughing. Oh yeah, it's so funny. And then she told it when everyone showed up, and that time she said it a lot slower and more understandable.
She told the joke more than once. She had that thing locked and loaded.
She was proud of it.
Yeah, she definitely was trying to make new friends that night.
Yeah. What time are you guys up till watching the Bruins game?
At
4:30.
least 4:30 because they woke me up.
yeah,
Pretty sure
that's
I'm the
my
only one that woke up to it though, because everyone else was like, "Nope, didn't hear it." I'm like,
that's my
So
bad.
"Okay, just me."
This is the best part. So we get to the house. I remember like, all right, we're going to watch this. And it's like, Jimmy's got a TV in his room. And Jimmy's like, I haven't been able to turn on the TV all weekend. I go, well, have you hit the power button? And he hits the power button and looks at me and goes, it's not going to turn on. I go, Jimmy. And he turns around, it turned on. So we got Stride to get a link, get his laptop hooked up. We start watching the game. Safi falls asleep. And, whole game goes on. We're going into overtime at this point. And it's like me, Sweeney, Cliffy. We made Strive stay up. We bullied the hell out of
Poor
Strive.
Strive, man. You didn't have
I
to stay
know.
up. We knew how to work.
I
the
was like
laptop. You didn't have to
delirious.
stay up.
I just wanted to watch some good hockey,
He's sitting there. And we're like, Strive, you still there? And he's like, yep.
I think I had my harmonica out at one point, right?
Yeah, I got a video
Oh,
of
no.
that.
Oh. I was going to say, the best part of this is I'm laying down in front of like Jake and Strive on the couch. And out of nowhere, I see Stride like come around the corner, and I see him sit down. And I just like, all right, think nothing of it. And all of a sudden, I hear the piano man on a harmonica, and I turn around and go, "What the hell is going on?" And Stride's playing the harmonica. It's 2:30 in the morning between the second and third periods.
So we can use some intermission, entertainment.
So the game goes on. Obviously, the Bruins win. It's overtime. Bruins win in overtime. Immediately, like, we erupt. Sweeney, myself, and Norty just erupt. It's 4:30 in the morning. We don't care who hears us. We're going crazy. They beat the Leafs. Within like 25 seconds, Stripe goes, "All right, I can shut this off now, right? I can go to bed." We're like, "Whoa, we gotta watch the replay or something. Like, we gotta see what happened." We leave the room, and I was gonna stay in Aiden's room because he had 2 couches there, and I'm like, well, Cliffy's playing net, so I figured I'd probably be a nice guy and let Cliffy sleep on the couch. So we walk in Aiden's room where we all have our phones on, like flashlight. Cliffy, the nice guy, has his phone like flashlight up in the air. I walk right in, just beam it right on Aiden. Aiden wakes up and goes. He doesn't say anything, but he's so confused. Cliffy goes, "Hi, Aiden." So Cliffy sleeps in there, and then Norty and I,
Poor Aiden.
We didn't even go anywhere. We just decided that the war room was where we were going to sleep. And
I would say, Jake, this is my favorite part. So we walk into the war room. Jake's grabbing pillows and blankets, and he closes the door behind us. And I walk up to that giant pane window that's looking over the sheep pasture, and I just go, "Fuck!" And he goes, "What?" I go, "The sun's coming up." And you can just see the blue sky in the back, and I was like, "Oh God!"
So we lay down. We lay down on the floor, like not even anything, like just straight on the floor. And then within like 10 minutes, like just as I'm falling asleep, I hear like this chirping going on, and Norty goes, "Are you fucking kidding me?" And I'm like, "What?" He goes, "You don't hear that bird?" I go, "Dude, I thought that was you on your phone." So like that now the birds are out, so we're like right next to her, like, "Oh man." I think we got like 3 hours of sleep. I texted in the group chat because Becca had the coffee car. So I texted her as we were getting in there. I'm like, "Hey, don't forget about us in the war room."
The best part was waking up to that text, like, "Okay, yep, gonna grab you," because my car was always leaving early because caffeine. I'm expecting them to be passed out on the floor. I opened the door to the war room, and they're just like bright-eyed and chippered, like, "Okay, let's go." How are you awake right now?
I didn't even hear Cliffy come in. I guess Cliffy woke up pretty early and like
I was gonna say,
and then he came in. I didn't even hear him come in.
I've told everyone this story, so I didn't have a blanket, so I'm like cuddling a radiator in the corner, and I finally like wake up, and I'm lying on the ground looking under the dining room table, and across the room under the table, I see Cliffy sitting with his legs crossed on his phone and just snap his head and look at me and go, "Good morning." I'm like, "What are you doing here? When did you get in here? What are you doing?"
And then you guys tried to get me to go see the sheep. I'm like, "Dude, I have 2.5 hours of sleep. Like, I'm not going to take a photo of sheep. Like, I don't care."
I forgot about that. Me and Cliffy went to walk around the property to see the sheep.
Oh, well, yeah, perfect night's rest for the so now we had I guess they stayed up all night and like did stuff with the ring. I don't know what they could have done, but it was dry in the morning when we got there. It was playable.
Yeah.
And we had game versus Great Britain, playoff game. Only the top 4 made playoffs out of the 5 teams that were there. So Bermuda didn't make it. Us, Great Britain was the 2-3 game, and the Swiss team. How do you pronounce the Swiss team's team name? Do any of you know?
Don't even want to
Champs de France.
It's French.
Le Champs de France. I think I'm trying to imitate the guy that was
really good.
It. Yeah.
And they played the Great Britain Lions, which is basically the Great Britain's second team. The Swiss beat them before us, and then I guess we went down again pretty early. Went down 2-0, right? I guess we were waiting for you guys to still wake up from your 2.5 hours of sleep.
We were the ones buzzing. I don't want to hear that.
Yeah.
No, you guys were.
I think I had like.
Jake, you scored.
Best game of the tournament. Yeah. It was the best game I played in the tournament.
Yeah, you played good.
I think it was the power play goal we scored on. Yeah.
Yeah, they had They had the ball that kind of squeaked through Cliffy, and they tapped it in behind him.
Mm-hmm.
And then I think they had a rebound goal.
Yeah, we were on the PK. I was so mad they scored that goal. I was trying to call it out. I forget who was with me. I think Sweeney was to my right. We're trying to set up the diamond, and we got like caught off the face off. So I told him to just try. Like I looked over to my right to try and move over, and as I look over to my right, the guy just fires one, and it would have hit my foot if I was paying attention, and it just hit Cliffy's pad and just rolled right over.
That's right, because it was sitting there for a second. They came and tucked it in, right?
Yeah.
It was the only power play goal we gave up all tournament too. And man, we took a lot of penalties.
Well, we lost off a power play goal too, but you can disregard that one as well.
Oh yeah.
I thought all the goals they scored in that last game were power play goals.
No, the first one wasn't. That kid had a rocket of a shot.
Oh yeah, it was
the kid.
It was a miscommunication. Yeah, they fed the kid the slot and he rifled inside the far post. That was a missile.
Yeah, there's nothing he could have, like any goalie could have done on that.
No.
Clifford should have had it.
He's 6'4". He should have everything.
Yeah.
I mean, we score that first goal on the power play. It's 2-1. We get Party in the USA, Miley Cyrus rocking, and then we were good, man. We were golden.
Were you shooting for, like, were you trying to score on that shot or just throwing it low, like with traffic in front?
No, honestly, so before that, even like before like the previous games when we were on the power play with us five, right? So it was myself, you, Ant, Evan, Norty, and Cody out there. Cody was wide open backdoor every time. So like if I had the ball on the top, I was just trying to like hit Cody backdoor. And one of the games I like just hopped off his stick. I mean, I had Evan backdoor one game. So I mean, I was just trying to just keep it low, honestly, and it just found a way in.
Yeah, you shot it low and Cody was in front, and he said he just opened his legs and it just went 5-hole.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was. I feel like momentum completely shift. I mean, it was shifting in our favor prior to that, but that really like gave us an edge because what's it called? Because Tim's goal was I had a successful pinch there. Actually, that's right. I pinched in. I got the ball and I looked up. I saw Tim in the low slot with no one near him, so I just threw it to him, and he like jabbed at it, he poked at it. And I was, crashing the net afterwards. You could see it like poke over the line, but they came and pulled it back like right away. Like it was very quick that they did it. And the refs were, I guess, unsure if it was a goal or not, and we were all like, we sellied. I think they even had played Miley Cyrus at that point that we had scored the goal.
Yeah.
And, but the goal judge, the refs were still talking, and I walked over to the net and their goalie was standing there and I'm like, come on, you know that went in, don't you? And he was like, no, that didn't go in. And I was like, come on. And then I went up to the refs. I'm like we're counting that, right? And I look and like, there's like 6 people behind the rink. And I'm like, was that a goal? And they're like, yes. And I like pointed the goal. I'm like, the goal light is on. Like everyone's saying it's a goal. And they're like, yeah, you know what? That's a goal. So they pointed and we tied it, but it was just chaos, man. If that goal didn't count, that would have been.
I mean, to be fair, I think Tim had 3 chances to put that in first. Like his first tip, like hit the pad, and then the second one hit the post, and then it went off the guy's foot, and then just dribbled right in.
Yeah. If he didn't bury that, he was getting stuffed in my backpack.
No, I mean, like once he scored that, though, I mean, even like with the first goal, for me personally, I'm like, well, this is a national team, and like, yeah, I know they're younger and stuff, but like for us that just met each other on Thursday, that kind of like put like, okay, we can hang with these guys, like we can beat these guys. And then Tim scores that goal. I'm like, all right, we got this game. We got this game in the bag.
And we did. Like I felt like we, controlled a lot of the second half of that game. And then
didn't RJ get that massive cut in that game too?
Yeah.
We had a couple of big cuts. So yeah, what happened to RJ? He banged his face on the boards?
I think he got hit. Yeah, I think he hit his.
Cross-checked into the wall.
Yeah, RJ bashed his head off Dasher.
Yeah, so he was out for a little. We didn't talk about Jimmy when he got cut in the first game with his.
I don't even know how.
I think he said that he hit it on the bottom, he hit it on the rink, he just dove and just split. But I remember in between periods, I was just talking about the game. I'm just holy shit, Jimmy! What is going on over here?
He goes,
just filled with blood.
He's like, what do you mean? And he looks down. He's like, oh damn!
The skin flap hanging. We're like, Jimmy, this is not good.
I mean, the photo he has is of just blood stains all over the shirt. Is epic though.
He claimed he had no idea he was bleeding, which is wild because his jersey was half covered in blood.
Could be a time commercial that it all came out.
Could be a time commercial. It's true.
Yeah, that was impressive that he got the stains out. But yeah, RJ's was across his nose, and what did he just? He just went and bandaged it up, right? He was out for maybe 5 minutes.
Yeah.
I want to say actually almost a period because I had to pop out in that game. I popped out with Evan and DeMarco for a shift, and DeMarco fed me a seed in the slot, and I skimmed the post wide. It was a beauty.
I remember that. Damn.
Yeah, I cut to the net. The dude collapsed on me, and I just cut right back out into the slot to Marco, and I just locked eyes, and he put it right on my tape, and I fired one and beat the goalie, hit the side of the post, went right behind the net.
A lot of what ifs in that game, man.
Yeah, I think Timmy hit a post too in that game too earlier on. I think Jimmy hit him.
Yeah,
Jimmy.
Yeah,
Jimmy made a great pass.
Yeah.
Yeah.
5-on-3 killed us though. That's
I don't want to talk about that.
That's where we lost.
Yeah.
Yep.
I was watching
that.
Was
it.
Yeah, that was.
Guys, now I get my blood pressure up.
So were any of you on the rink for our the penalty that got called on us at the end of the game?
I was. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we all were actually.
Mm-hmm.
What? So I was on the bench. I didn't what happened at the dot? What was the whole conversation? Do you know?
I couldn't tell you.
The only thing I saw, so he did false start on the first one. The only thing I saw the ref do is she put her finger up like this, above his head, where there's no way Cody saw it. Definitely didn't say anything verbally.
Yeah, she didn't say anything.
Yeah, so you really wouldn't know. And someone that's played a lot like him has no idea that he is one away from taking a penalty. So then the second one, I don't even know if he false started on the second one. I probably would.
I don't think he did. He won it clean.
Yeah, I don't think he did either. But she didn't even call it. The guy from center did. And just, it was a penalty. But the fact that guy knew that the second false start was a penalty, but didn't say anything about that guy getting tossed on the face-off was also kind of interesting. Should probably yelled from center that he should have been tossed from the face-off. And then we would have known, okay, yeah, let's not false start in the second one here.
Yeah, so that was with 2-2 game, 1:17 left in the third period, drawing our defensive zone. Cody, our MVD, is taking the draw. I guess, yeah, false starts twice, I guess. Goes to the box to give him a minor for delay of game. And Norty was just eating shots on that penalty kill at the end of that game. What'd you take, 3 of them?
I got one with the stick, one off the wrist, one off the knee, and one off the foot.
That celebration was elite on that last block. His time expired in the third.
Yeah, well, that one I thought they would get us going, and then it just didn't. But
okay, I remember my first shot block, Norty.
Hey, you're a defenseman. I don't do that often, let alone 4 times in a shift.
But yeah, so Norty wears a couple shots, takes us to overtime. We're still killing. There's 43 seconds on the kill. And I remember I was out there. They tried to their first zone entry. They threw it towards my side, and I batted it down. So then they came back in, and they were coming back in with I don't know. They retrieved the ball behind the net. Their net came in. There's probably 15, 20 seconds left on the power play. And one way or another, they get set up, and their player takes the shot from the point. I guess it seemed like it might have been a high stick on that play. I couldn't tell from really where I was, but it just, the trajectory of the ball was just didn't make sense.
All from the bench. I mean, that dude hit the ball at his face.
Yeah.
That was face high.
Yeah. I think
it wasn't a nice goal, but it was a high stick.
Yeah, I mean, it was like really like a nothing like play. Like you said, they just kind of just brought it in, and it was just like a harmless shot to the net. And I mean, Cliffy stops that 10 out of 10 times, and the guy just high sticks it from heaven into the net. Like,
he didn't even high stick it directly. It was high, and everyone just sat there frozen. And a dude just like, it hit Cliffy in the pads. The dude just sees it and just throws it in the net. And everyone kind of was just sitting there confused, like, why wasn't it blown dead?
Yeah, tough way to lose. I remember, I saw Cliffy was up high, and I think the ball hit him like in the chest and bounced like right out, and he dropped as quick as he could, but it got like just tucked 5-hole on him. Like he didn't have time to react, and it's they score the goal. Great Britain bench clears. They're celebrating. They're going crazy. It's a tough call to make for the officials. So it just, we weren't going to get that call, and it just
no way. Yeah,
tough way to go out, because I felt like we had a really good game, and I felt like we were kind of rolling at that point. Like I felt like it was, we had a lot of momentum, even killing the penalty. Like Norty blocking those shots, like did get me pretty fired up, and like we were almost killed off the whole penalty. We were ready to go, and that just pretty much a couple seconds before the penalty expires, that happened. It was just tough to go down. 3-2 loss to them was, I mean, if you think about it, like if you take a step back and look at the game, like we were a bunch of people that met each other a few days before, had never played together before. We took a literal national team to overtime. Like it's a hell of a feat for us.
Should have won too.
Yeah. Should have won. I mean, that was a national game.
Yeah. That was a national team that had a camp on Thursday. Mm-hmm. Like when me, Jake, and Cliffy showed up, they were at a camp.
Yeah, we had a camp too on Thursday. We had an hour-long camp at the rink.
Yeah.
I think I showed up 2 minutes before our ice time was up on that Thursday. So yeah, definitely got a lot of time to practice together.
I didn't even put pads on.
I did not. I just grabbed a hockey stick in my jeans and was just screwing around.
But to Great Britain's credit, like that team was good. Like they played a good game. They had some guys with a lot of skill. They moved the ball well. They're pretty big too. Like they had good size. It was a fun game. Like it was, unfortunate we didn't win, but I was, I thought their team was pretty good. And they went on to win. They played the Swiss team in the final. I think it was 3-1. They beat them.
Mm-hmm. I think so, something like that. Yeah.
Yeah, I know. After the game, they came up to me and they said that they were going to have like they're giving out trophies, and they had like the all tournament team announcement, and they said Cody, unbelievable defenseman, got on the first division team as a defenseman, even though Cody swears he is a center.
He scored 2 goals in the tournament, and both of them were on forward.
I was going to say he scored all his goals on forward.
He got on the most valuable, or he got on the first team all tournament. So they had like a presentation for that. So as soon as we lost, Cody and I, we all went back, we showered. Cody and I came back to the rink, and we pretty much got to the rink as the championship game was ending. They were like on the line, like, celebrating. And some guy comes up to us. He goes, "Are you Cody Hollingsworth?" To like me and Cody. And Cody's like, "I am." And Cody's like, and the guy's like, "Okay, we need you right now." And they walked Cody over, and we timed it perfectly. Cody got walked onto the rink 30 seconds later, getting announced to the team. He got like this orange jersey. I think he got maybe a plaque or something. And then they give out the awards. Great Britain gets their trophy. They celebrate. It was pretty cool. They did a good job. And then they say, "All right, everyone head to the bar upstairs." me and Cody look at each other like, there's a bar here? Like, there's been a bar here this whole weekend? We had no idea.
We did.
So
me and Jake and Cliffy found that out on Thursday. The tournament director did tell us, but he was like, he goes, it's open when it's open. And every time we looked up there, I'm like, that thing's not open.
Yeah. Because, I mean, Cody and I...
The last day, really quick, they had all these signs where it's like, bar upstairs, come to the bar. Couldn't miss it, really.
I'm not very observant, so I didn't see that. I had no idea.
You were locked in. I was not.
I was laser focused, dude. But so Cody and I walk up there, and we're the first ones up there, and the bartender was like just the lovely woman who was at the front desk all weekend, and she was letting us sample all the beers. We got to try a bunch of them, and we sat at a table, and we were, talking with people. We were talking with the guy who was the DJ for the tournament, who was playing all the music. We were talking to Scott. He was great. Like, playing the Jeopardy song during, like, what was it? When we were doing we were deciding the wet rink. He's playing the Jeopardy song.
Yeah, he's doing like the what's going on.
I think DeMarco got a
penalty. Let it go.
Yeah.
Yeah, DeMarco got a penalty that first day, and he used to play Let It Go from Frozen. That was great.
Yeah, we were talking to him. We were talking to Scott, the goalie from Bermuda, who stood on his head against us. He was insane. And then they did like a whole, just like, I guess, like trophy ceremony. And it's Ali Cree, Rob Clayton, the two guys who ran the tournament with Ball Hockey UK. They did an unbelievable job. Like, the tournament, I mean, the wet rink thing, that's, whatever, it is what it is. You take that out of the scenario. Like, I thought the whole tournament was run incredibly well. We had not only had a locker room the whole tournament, but we also had a whole nother room that we were able to keep our stuff at the rink, so we didn't have to log it back and forth to the Airbnbs. That made our lives like super easy. And Allie and Rob, like, they said some words. Rob, spoke of his father, who had passed recently prior to the tournament, and was a driving force for the tournament happening. It was like very, very touching the way he spoke of him. It was very good to hear, or not good to hear, but it was like very moving to hear. And then they, went from 5 to 1, gave out the trophies, and everyone just kind of hung out, had some beers. It was cool. Tim and Jimmy showed up at some point. So it was the 4 of us hanging out. And then that was really it. We just had some good conversation with everybody. And you guys, during this, we were supposed to meet you guys for this hike, but by the time they didn't even start the ceremony. By the time you guys were all texting, like, we're just getting to the hike, and we were just like, okay, we're at this ceremony. This is not even starting yet. Like, we're not going to meet you there. But the hike looked, pretty sick. Honestly, I kind of wish I got to do it, but how was that?
I wish I got to go. I just cooked all for the food for everyone, and then they just left me there while I was in the shower.
Don't start.
I'm downstairs in my towel, and I'm like, I didn't say that.
You said you didn't want to go.
You guys Home Alone sappy.
Walk downstairs in a towel. Am I actually here all alone? There's no way.
You wanted to nap, and then somewhere you and RJ stayed home. Wherever RJ.
No, RJ wanted to. I was planning on coming.
No.
Calling him right out. I love it.
Go into the group chat. I was like, can you wait 5 minutes? I'm in the shower.
I honestly you did say you didn't want to go.
Take a nap.
Yeah, ask Sweeney, ask anyone. They'll be like, nah, he's not coming. Even Aiden's like, yeah, he's not coming. And Aiden didn't listen to anyone the whole weekend.
Oh my God. Put it in the group.
It was fun though. We went up, so obviously there's it was Arthur's Seat is what it was called. There's one big, I guess it's considered a mountain, where there's a main path, and Cliffy, Norton, and I had just finished eating lunch, so we got there a little later than everyone. I think we met you guys at the ruins, I believe. And then a Strive just goes rogue. He goes off on this random path, and we're like, where are we going? And I see Strive, and Strive goes, I go, Strive, we following you? He goes, yeah, come on up. And I'm not kidding you. It's like this narrow of a path that we're walking up. We don't have hiking shoes. We're all in sneakers, and it's all gravel and dirt, and we're all slipping, falling up the hill. Strive probably has some crazy photos of us cussing him out.
it's like covered in thorn bushes. So like I'm just
Oh
like
my
all
God.
splinters.
I didn't even tell you. So at the end, Cliffy fell at the end walking down from the very top. Cliffy fell, and the entire plane ride, he had thorns all in the palm of his hand, and he's just picking them out. I'm like, dude, does that hurt? He goes, I mean, it doesn't feel good. I'm like, what happened? He goes, I just fell.
Oh my God. Why were they in there for so long? He didn't pick them out there?
I mean, it was
There were a lot.
I mean, we didn't have like tweezers or anything.
Yeah, I guess not.
Yeah, we went from that hike straight to the ball pit bar. There was,
Yeah.
we went from 0 to 100.
Yes, we did. Yes. Yeah, I guess that was the silver lining of not playing in the championship was you guys got to do the hike, and then we got to get a quicker start on the night. Did we go to the ball pit bar? No, we went to
Frankenstein.
Frankenstein bar.
It's such a weird bar.
It's funny. It's like I forget. I think it was Cody that said, "Oh, this is like a place you come here like once or whatever." And then Norty goes,
me.
"Oh, it was you, Em." And Norty goes, "This is actually our second time here." He goes, "Okay, I guess maybe 2 times."
A few of us went to the grass market, I think it was called, just to eat dinner, and we were sitting outside on the patio, and this like really old Scottish dude walks by, obviously very drunk, and he starts like talking shit to Hanley, who's sitting like right on the edge there. And dude, I thought they were gonna get a scrap. This dude was just not letting up.
Why did he single out Hanley? What did Hanley do?
He was drinking tea. He was drinking tea, and so he called out Hanley for drinking whatever tea it was. He's like, "Oh, that's not real Scotland." I don't know, man. He just wants some tea.
Oh my God. So we go to Frankenstein's, to Norty's favorite place in the world, the ball pit.
Before that, should we tell them how many times you made us change destinations? Because I was in the cab at this point, and I kept having to direct my cab driver to different destination. Because I'm like, yeah, we're going to this bar. It's like, oh, no problem. He's giving me like the grand tour. Like he gave me the whole Scottish the whole background of your guys' hike. We drove right up to it too. He found a way. So on the way, we drove right up to where he hiked. He took me on the outskirts of Edinburgh. We didn't cut through the city. He's giving me all the grand tour. And halfway, I'm like, I gotta cut you off, buddy. We got to put in a new destination. And he's just like, are you serious, buddy? And I'm like, yeah, sorry, pal. Just got a text. Can we go here next? He's like, sure, no problem. Might not be able to get you all the way there, depending on what bridge we take now. I'm like, I was like, I'm not from here. You do, you, dude. So just hopefully it's not a couple mile walk. Then he goes on and on again. Then 10 minutes later, sorry to cut you off, buddy, but he's like, don't tell me you're changing again. It's like, yeah, I'm going to Frankenstein's now. I don't know what this is. Guy gives me an eye roll, and he's just like, all right, man.
Well, that was the point where we were still in 2 separate groups where we were trying to connect, and we kept getting turned away from places with our group of 4. We went to like 3 or 4 different bars where there's like, no. Like there's places we tried to go to, Safi, I didn't even tell you, because we didn't even get in. So it could have been more changes if we needed it to be.
It would have been hysterical. The dude probably would have just dropped me off at some random spot and been like, find another cab.
Like I say, it's weird though. Like even like on Friday night when Norty, Cliff, and I were just trying to find like food, like we'd go to like a bar and it said like online it had food, but we'd go there and they're like, nah, no more food. So it's like I don't know if they like shut the kitchen down at a certain time and just make it a bar, or I don't know how they did it there.
I mean, Frankenstein's was the University of Edinburgh college bar, so
yeah. What was it?
Like
$2 margaritas or something like that, or
Wednesdays. Yeah,
$2 Jaeger bombs.
Oh, oof. Yeah, really gets the people going.
Yeah, Wednesday nights.
It was Cinco de Mayo, so Safi bought us some tequila shots. I think it was just me, you, and Cody, right?
Yeah, it was the best tequila I've had in a while.
Yeah, we drank it. It was pretty good. Was not expecting a shot of that, but
then we go to the.
Well, before we went to the ball pit bar, we were finishing up a drink. So like, all right, ball pit bar, and it was right when Safi had gotten beer.
This happened almost at every single bar that everyone's like, we're here for like 20 more minutes. And I'm like, cool, I'm going to go get a beer. I go to get a beer. I get back to the table. Just kidding. It's not 20 more minutes. We're going to the next one. And I'm just like, is this a joke? Really happened at every single one. So now I'm the doofus American chugging a beer at the bar. I mean, great. It was me, but still.
We did it a few times this weekend, right? When we left from the mini golf bar.
Yeah, I was gonna say,
It was literally every single bar.
Impeccable timing.
Yeah, we got to see your chugging skills, Safi. It was a good chance to show off your skill set.
Put it on the TikTok.
What number beer did you hit when you got to Frankenstein's? What number was it?
The 2000.
Yeah.
Exciting.
All right, let's talk ball pit here.
Let's go.
Ball pit was insane. Norty, just you take it.
Oh God. Well, this all started. I think, Jake, what was it? Thursday we were walking around and we found this place.
I think so. Yeah, we went out to dinner and we just kind of walked by.
Yeah. So me, Jake, and Cliffy are walking to dinner at this Italian restaurant right next to Frankenstein's.
Bally McBallerson.
Like, oh, yeah, Bally McBallerson. But we just saw Ball Pit Bar. We're like, all right, we're going there at some point this weekend. So I remember we tried going there on, I think, Friday, and they were like, no, you have to have reservations. Like, all right, well, we're booking a reservation for tomorrow. No reservations on Saturday. We booked it for 20 people on Sunday. And we're like, whoever's coming's coming. Like, I don't care. And I think it was like $10 a person just to get in, which is like that. Fine. Yeah. So we walk into this place and there's like 20 of us. Jake's getting all the wristbands handed out. Go to the bar. I remember me and Cliffy look at each other like, dude, they have a Capri Sun pouch drink. So me and Cliffy get this, and it's a giant light up ball. So this pouch is just lighting up, and we're like, all right, time to go upstairs, play in the ball pit. Like, two giant children that me and Cliffy are. Get up there, and the guy goes, you can't drink these here. We're like, oh, okay. Go downstairs, chug them as fast as we can with Jake's drink, and then immediately run upstairs, and then just right into the ball pit and just immediately tackle Cliffy. I think that was when you guys were still downstairs drinking.
There were like a couple groups of girls in the ball pit when you first got there. And then like when all the boys started funneling, like they just got out. They were
we cleared that out real quick. We cleared that out real quick. I was gonna say when we first got to the bar, when we walked in, one of the bartenders had a blowtorch just going right to town on marshmallows on the top of a drink. I'm like, I need that. So I forget what the name of it was called, but yeah, I mean Strive's right. I mean there's a couple different groups of people in there, and as soon as we just took that ball pit over.
There was like 5 bachelorette parties.
Yeah.
There was like 5. And then us. A group of sweaty dudes.
Men playing in a ball pit.
We literally sweat more playing in the ball pit than we did playing hockey. Like I remember I came down. It was
exhausting.
Yeah, Ant goes, Jake, you look like you just played like 7 shifts in a row.
I only got home a couple times.
Yeah, there was... At one point, I looked over at Evan, and he's literally saving a drowning Becca in the ball pit.
I paid Jake $2 extra on top of the ticket to get her a bell so he could find her, and he just never came through.
Sorry, I need more cowbell.
I know. I just had to throw my hand up and someone find me.
Well, the best part is so we do that for I don't know, it felt like 30 minutes. It was probably 10 minutes. And I think Jamie, Jimmy, and April still needed to come in. And I had told the bouncer at the front door, I'm like, look, I have 3 other people coming in. Just, if they mention Jake, just let him in. And he's like, yeah, no problem. So they all come in, and now we're they all want to go in the ball pit. So we're like, okay, we have to go in the ball pit now. So we give them the proper welcome. We all jumped in first, because the first time we were in, anytime that some people or other people would come in that weren't part of the team, we would just literally scream new people and just go crazy and just throw literally the balls all over the place. So we had to be the first ones in when Jamie, April, and Jimmy hopped in, and we had to give them a proper welcome. As soon as they took one step off the stairs, I mean, we went crazy.
Yeah, I think we pretty much declared war on everyone in that ball pit that wasn't us.
That poor
Jake's
that
this
poor
to the
girl in the corner. Oh my god! I just literally get up. I stand up. I go, "What is she doing? Get her!" And like literally the whole team just starts throwing and hucking these balls at her.
Well, like if you're in the ball pit, like the balls are like if you were to stand up straight, the balls would be what, like, you know, maybe like waist level, like mid thigh. Like
Yeah, I'd say.
I looked over at that girl after you did that, and she was standing up and covered with the balls. like the other left side of the ball pit was like you know, a foot deep of balls because we threw every ball at her. It was ridiculous.
I would just sit there. I just sat down like just head above the ball pit, and I was just going like this right against the bride, just throwing balls right off the back of the head.
I think my favorite part was when Jimmy got out and he's just standing there watching us, and then some girls got in and he's just like, fresh meat.
We're like, no, Jimmy, it's new people, not fresh meat.
No, he said fresh meat.
No, he did.
And that's what I'm saying.
he
but
did.
We're saying,
Yeah.
Jimmy, that's not it. It's new
Yeah,
people.
it's not it.
We're not yelling fresh meat here.
I don't even know how I like came to thinking about jumping off the railing, but I landed fine. So I jump off that railing, landed fine, and then I think was it DeMarco that tried doing it? DeMarco did it and goes, how the hell did you not hurt your back? I go, you literally landed in the same spot that I just landed in 3 seconds ago. There's no balls there anymore.
Oh my God.
I think we're also failing to mention that there was a slide there.
Yeah.
Slide.
So you
wish
get
the
out of the
slide
ball
went into
pit and
the
then
ball
take a
pit,
slide
though.
into the bar.
Pretty forgettable,
Oh, yeah.
though. It hurt on the way down.
Oh, it sounded like it hurt. I mean, it was just like,
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I think the slide took some skin off everybody on their way down. Oh. But then, all right.
I mean, then we had our last stop of the night.
yeah.
Biddy Mulligans.
Wait, hold on, Stripe. You're not getting out of this. You're not getting out of this. You didn't even want to go to the ball pit.
I did
You
not
were
want to go
miserable
to
the
ball
entire
pit.
night.
Nice.
I was,
good call.
I was tired. I was at the end of my rope. But
Driving
no,
survivals
Tim.
that night.
That was the second win.
Yeah, Tim.
We got
Tim
to Biddy
convinced me.
Mulligan's, and he 100% was like, I gotta go home, and then had another drink, and then he was good.
Before we even walked into the bar, Stripe goes, he looks at me and goes, dude, all I want is to be smoking a cigar with a whiskey in my hand. Is that so hard to do?
So dramatic, dude.
Like, no, we're a bunch of grown men. We're going to go play in the ball pit.
Tribes was not having Sunday night between the hours of 6 and 8 p.m.
No, it was my cranky time.
Wait, Safi, that was another bar you had to finish your beer in 20 seconds, right? Not
Yup.
even. Yeah,
Yup.
20-second warning, and then, chugged.
Hey, we're leaving in
Was
20
that-
minutes, like 20 more minutes. All right, I'll go get one. I'm right back to the table. Hey, so-and-so just walked out, so we're leaving up. Okay, guess this one's going down the hatch. Thanks again, guys.
Well, Biddy was on it was on the bar crawl, right?
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah, we were there we went there a lot.
Yeah.
It was a good
Yeah,
spot, especially when we brought the trophy.
Yeah, I felt like we kind of took that place over with the trophy.
I had to make Anko get that trophy. There was no way we were going to have a Sunday night without that trophy.
That's what makes Scotland. That's what makes Scotland great. That we can go into that bar with a third place trophy and get everyone going. But if we do it in the U.S., they'll kick us out in a second. It's like, what the hell are you doing?
I think we had like half the bar chanting third place with
Third
us.
place.
Oh,
We
yeah.
did.
The girl sitting behind me was like, you guys only finished third? I go, yeah, we sucked.
Well, my favorite part of the trophy was we'd have random people coming up, be like, can we take a picture? It's like, yeah, sure. We take a picture with the trophy, not knowing what the hell it is.
Just
There you
drinking
go.
out of it.
But then they go, congrats on your win. It's like, we didn't win. Third place. And then Sweeney, third place, third.
The one Instagram story of us chanting third place with Sweetie chugging, I thought was just, I was cracking up with that. It's so good.
What was it?
And then Cliffy-
There was the one where. Oh, sorry, go Sarah.
Cliffy probably drank like half a keg of the peach beer.
Oh my
Just by
god,
himself.
dude! We get to the bar instantly. So he buys the first round, and probably maybe within like, I don't know, was it 10 minutes if that, Norty? Not even. I mean, I'm just having a good time, just sipping on the beer, and then Norty and Cliffy are like making fun of me, like they're already ready for round 2. I'm like, dude, relax. So then they get another one, and then like they just pounded them. I don't know how you guys.
Those peach beers go down easy.
Good.
But my favorite part about the peach beer with Cliffy was we got back to the Airbnb that night, Jake, when Cliffy was hammering. He just goes, Norty, we had like 7. And I'm like, that's not a lot, Cliffy. We were there for 6 hours.
Yeah, he's not a big drinker here, so I thought for sure I made the mistake of ordering the Uber, and he was very questionable on the way home in the Uber.
Hey, he made it. He made it.
Good thing Streibich
Did he get
waters.
sick? Did he get sick when he got back?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
Well,
hell
he's like standing there. I'm like, dude, just do it. Just stop fighting and just do it. So he's in the bathroom. I just grabbed a cold towel, just threw it over his neck. He's like, no, I don't want these. He starts feeling like a little cranky Stribe. He's like, no, I don't want this face cloth. I don't want it. Blah, blah, blah. He starts throwing it away. And then I give him a Tylenol, and he's like, oh, I'm terrible with pills. So he like starts taking the Tylenol, and he starts like gagging on it. I go, dude, do not throw up on this bed right now. I'll kill you.
Oh, is that how you wound up on the loft, which is just a ledge?
Yeah, that's why I'm like, you take the bed. Here's a trash can. You do what you got to do. I'll sleep on the loft.
So Jake, you went like 3 days without sleeping on a bed. Like you were just sleeping on floors.
Yeah, the
ledges.
loft was it was basically one like lounge couch cushion and like twin size, like little like chase almost for like a couch, and that's what I slept on the final night. And the night
That's luxury compared to the war room. That's good.
the floor wasn't actually that bad. Maybe because I was so tired, but hey.
Probably.
But
with biddies, I mean, Stripe also had that digital camera that will never see the light of day.
Dude, you took a picture of my debit card number.
You put your debit card in the middle of the picture.
Dude,
Covered by your thumb. You're fine.
I'm literally about to buy shots, and I see a flash. I look at him, I go, you just took a photo of my debit card digits.
No, I was taking a picture of Becca and Evan, and then you stick your hand with your card in front of the camera. As it's
Yeah, what the hell,
flashing.
Jake?
he said to me right before, he's like, I'm going to snipe Jake's debit card here. Watch this.
You can have the $10 on the account. It's not that
You
big.
only see half the numbers. You're fine.
Yeah, and the
Becca has the
camera
picture
focused
saved. I
on
have
the
the
card
picture.
too.
I'm not having Chase Bank anymore. I'll go to Citizens or something like that.
Actually, wait. Speaking of that digital camera, we also, I completely forgot about this guy, the Scottish Spider-Man.
Oh my God.
Who was that?
No, so you were taking photos of
idea.
him, and you were just doing regular photos. I'm like, you got to do the Spider-Man thing to at least make it look legit. And then he actually did it. But then, do you remember when he walked away? He was so upset that he had to do it. I think he wore that as like he lost a bet. So he clearly didn't want people walking up to him and screwing with him. So he walks away. He's all like, he goes back to straight face. He's all pissed.
What about the one guy that went from bar to bar that we saw out on the street with the toilet seat cover around him?
Oh, that too.
There's a bunch of guys with stuff drawn on the face. Like one guy had glasses drawn on. One guy had
Yeah, the
genital.
Yeah, a little
Yeah.
male genitalia ran on his forehead.
Yeah.
That was the same guy.
Lately,
He had that.
I think that was a
the
bachelor
seat
party.
cover.
probably.
I think that was a bachelor party of just weirdos. Yeah. Guy, yeah, glasses drawn on. I was just like staring at this guy walking in, like, what the hell is wrong with this guy? Gets closer, like, oh, okay. Like, yeah, he's got just big ass circles and lines drawn. Like, okay, yeah. This looks like fun. And the guy had a big sombrero.
I did try setting Norty up with one of the girls at the bar too, though. I didn't tell you guys. I don't know if you guys heard this story. But I go, yeah, my buddy over here has been kind of eyeing you all night. She looks at him and goes, Nah, he's too short. I turn around and I go, Norty, you're out of luck, man. I don't know. You got to grow.
One of the girls came up to me and she was like, so who's single out of all these guys? Like, you're friends with all of them? And I was like, okay, so this one's taken, single, like kind of going through the list. And she's like, okay. Like, trying to figure out who she could maybe go home with. But I think the only one she was interested in was taken, so didn't happen.
I think I know the girl you were talking about, because that was when I had my backpack on and Tim was giving me crap all night about it. Yeah. And she grabs me and starts whispering in my ear and she goes, what time's homeroom? I just looked at Tim. I was like, you bastard.
Tim's goal all night.
Oh, God.
I think that about wraps it up here, right? Is there any stories we're forgetting here? Anything else to add that we're sure we're going to listen to this and be like, oh, we forgot to tell that story. But we're at like an hour 40 on this podcast here. We're just going to set a new Commish Chat record here.
Yeah.
But I guess parting words is that was probably the most enjoyable tournament experience I've ever had. It was just a blast. Our group we all meshed like right away. Like everybody was there with the same mentality. Like, let's go here. Let's have fun. Let's try to win some hockey games. But we were just there for the experience, and hockey was just an added part of it. And I think the tournament was great. I mean, shout out again to Allie and Rob from Ball Hockey UK. They ran an incredible event. The players were so welcoming. The staff was welcoming. Like, everybody was awesome. But I think I just came away from it I don't know. It was just an unforgettable experience. Despite how many times I said on this podcast that I forget what happened on a certain night, I do. I think we all remember most of what happened. But I appreciate everybody who came. Like, all of you, thank you for coming. And Ball Hockey UK has hinted that they're going to be doing this again. So I think if that is the case, we will look to send. We would like to make this an NBHL tradition where we are sending teams here. I'd like to run it back with this team in particular, and we can get other people there going next year too. But I mean, just for me personally, it was the beginning of the season's kind of tough. Like, people give me a lot of shit. There's a lot of suspensions. People get used to the barometer of the league and stuff, and it's just like the first month of the league is very negative for me because there's just a lot of bad stuff happening. So for me, it was refreshing to be around people that love the sport, enjoy being a part of the league, and just like having that experience together. So it was awesome. I can't wait to do it again. And, just again, thanks to Ball Hockey UK, an incredibly run event. And thanks to everybody who spent time and money and took time away from work to get out there, because it was a lot to ask, but I think it was probably worth it.
Sure.
An unreal weekend. Any parting words from anybody here?
You already know what I'm going to say.
Say it, Jake.
Lobsters by a million.
All right. Well, I guess we'll edit on that note. If you're still listening at this point of the podcast, thank you for listening to all this. And I guess go Team NBHL. Thanks, everybody.
Have a good night.
Thanks, guys.
Good night.
Have a good night.
Thanks for letting me craft.